Today is something else. There are politicking powers that be that are very much impacting everything. And I think that we should talk about that space of helplessness and hopelessness and how it turns into us turning against each other on the internet. But we gonna do the intro. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna with me, your host, Dr. Donna. I know that this is not my usual boisterous self, but I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired. I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm tired of continued threats of G-side. I am tired of all this thing that is going on, and I recognize that I'm not so unique that I would be tired alone. Um, when it comes to all the stuff that we're seeing outside, I recognize that for a lot of us, our sympathetic nervous systems come online. That fight, flight, freeze, fawn. It becomes the main thing that sort of takes over. And we are trying to figure out, how do we achieve any sense of homeostasis when everything also feels very much outside of our control. So some of us are fighting. We're fighting the people on the internet. We are having maybe some choice words for people who voted in this way that has led down this particular path, or otherwise people that we feel did not vote at all that also led to this particular path, right? We are looking for someone and somewhere to place blame. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that's part of what I see. The flight piece, there are people who are fleeing the country. They're trying to find somewhere else to be so that they can feel safe and whole and sane. Some of us are frozen. We don't know what to do. So we are just kind of frozen into our regular everyday routines. Maybe not doing things in the same way or in the same level that maybe we have done before, but just the same, frozen. And some of us are fawning. We are saying what someone has done right as opposed to what they've done wrong. We are trying to look at the bright side of things. We are trying to find the spaces where we can say that, but this thing is not that bad, right? So that we can make ourselves or trick ourselves into feeling better. I myself am a freeze type girly. It's like kind of going through the motions, kind of fighting, but I'm not fighting with people on the internet. I'm mostly figuring out productive ways to use the feelings that I have. And I think that's actually where we should start. So here's the feelings chart. How do you feel? What's going on for you right now? I know for me, I'm exhausted. I am feeling like I wish it would. Um, I'm really in a space of defaq, DAFAQ, defaq. I'm nervous and I'm scared. I know that one of the running jokes has been like, yo, these unprecedented times, can we get some precedented ones? Except these are the precedented times. This is born from slavery, born from Reconstruction, born from white rage, born from da 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 da, right? Like just sort of allowed to continue, to allowed space to be, allowed space to fester, allowed space to grow. This this is people with vacant self-esteem and way too much power. And not just power to affect their own lives, the power to affect ours. This is billionaire class funny business. This is the ability to buy elections. This is the undermining of our so-called democratic systems and processes. This is, it's almost like they built this country on an Indian grave. Right. Like it almost is like there's a curse. It's almost like if you don't do right by me, until you do right by me, everything you touch is gonna fail. It's given that. Um, and then I got to thinking, what am I even gonna the video that I was going to do today? I'll very likely do it for tomorrow. I couldn't even bring myself to do it because this is big. This is loud. This is all consuming. It's the entirety of my timeline. It's the thing that I'm watching on the news and trying to avoid watching, trying to give myself space from while being drawn to it. Like it's like a car wreck that you see, you know what's going to happen, and yet you're hoping for something different and you're still scared, right? And I feel like I can see the hopelessness. And it's something that Imani, Crutches and Spice, once talked about on TikTok, that we are breeding ourselves into a hopelessness economy, that we are taking away people's hope one thing at a time, not reminding what people, not re empowering people, um, and sort of also getting into this space where we want to be tit for tat, where we want to assign blame. But I'm going to say it the same way I would say it in a from like my romantic relationship clients, my couples therapy clients. Assigning blame doesn't solve problems. Assigning blame really just gives you the satisfaction of saying this thing is your fault. And I recognize the urge that we have to do it. And we do want people to take accountability. And we do want to make sure people understand their responsibility, both, right? Responsibility, tasks, accountability, outcome oriented. We want people to recognize what role they played in the outcome, but we also are needing people to do something different. But what we're not willing to have the full conversation of who actually is accountable and responsible. And that's not why we're here. What we're here for is for me to remind you that you have more power than you think. Part of the way the system is designed in its individualistic nature is that you feel so reliant upon self, maybe immediate family and government, that if something should fail you there, you are also going to see it as your individual failure as opposed to a systemic failure. And you are intended to feel small, to believe that you cannot do anything about the thing. And there is this African proverb that comes to mind, and it has been sort of like playing on in my head on repeat. So maybe this message is for you. If you think you're too small to make a difference, then you haven't spent the night with a mosquito. I have. Yeah, you never woke up, legs just torn up, and that one little mosquito that got under the covers with you ruined your whole week. Had you itching and scratching, bumping and oozing all over the place, wishing that you could just dip your legs into large vats of ice just to soothe it. We are the mosquitoes. We can make a difference. And I know that some of it is a question of, well, what kind of difference can we make? Number one, we can use our 5 calls app. The 5 calls apps allows you to call your representatives. You put your information in, it will spit out your representatives. It will give you a script. You don't need to figure out what to say. You just need to be able to read. It can also send a letter, or you copy paste the letter, right? And send it to your representatives. That's you talking to them, letting them know you expect them to figure it out, to do something next. The other piece is there is a desire for you to feel alone and to feel lonely. Alone, physical, lonely, mental. They want you to feel a little bit of both. Like there ain't nothing you can do and you're just so alone out here. You're not. You need to find your people. You need to find your community. You need to find your tribe. You need to have a conversation about your feelings. I know, seems useless. It's not. Your feelings let you know where you are about a situation. with whatever information you currently have. Feelings are not facts, or at least not facts of life, but they are facts in some way to you. They let you know how you feel about any given situation. It allows you an opportunity to tap in and to close the loop on whatever those feelings are. I'm thinking that maybe in one of these sessions, we'll do just a guided meditation together, just so that you can have that as a tool in your back pocket. But you're going to find your people. Stop trying to do everything by yourself. Start creating community. You can start with your next door neighbor. Go knock on the door. Wait until they come home from work. You know what time they come. Just, if you have not introduced yourself, say hi. Let them know who you are. Let them know where you are. See if your municipality has an app. Get involved. See something that you want created in your space. Do that. It's a lot of little things that we can do. And I know that we all feel disempowered, but feelings are not facts, beloved. The other piece is I would like you to remember the words of Octavia Butler in the sense that she said, change is God. And I feel like the message of Parable of the Sower was actually to imagine, which means you need the words of Tricia Hershey, which is to rest, maybe take a nap. Why these things? These things because in that rest, in your rested state, you give yourself an opportunity to do some of your best imagining, to concoct a future that you actually want to see. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What are the sensations, right? What kind of life do you want to be living? What does it look like in your house, on your block, in your neighborhood? What does it look like in your city, in your state, in your country? What does it look like? Imagine it. And then pick one. What is one thing from that thing that you could imagine that you could try to go for? Who are the people that are already doing that work? Because there's always somebody already doing that work that you could get involved with, that you can throw some money at the situation if you got it to throw, or that you could throw some time behind because you have that to throw. How can you get involved with your community so that people feel like they can keep going? What are your skill sets and can you use them? So Octavia said imagine, Tricia said rest, and I'm saying find pleasure. The person who is in a space of pleasure, because I recognize when times are hard, we all think that pleasure is ridiculous and flimsy and of no real use. And yet the science does not agree with you. The science says that you actually have more cognitive flexibility and lubrication if you are filled with pleasure, if you can find the thing that makes you smile in any moment. And the pleasure is also the reminder as to why you're doing some of the things that you're doing, why you're out here trying to find the community, why you feel the way that you do when you think about your government and everything that is happening. The pleasure reminds you that you have a right to have a life that is filled with it, not moments that you have to fight for, not scraps. You have the right to pleasure, and reminding yourself of that the whole purpose of your being here is to experience life, that the purpose of you being here is to sometimes find your purpose, find the thing that you want to do, connect with others, but ultimately to experience the fullness of this life. Somebody trying to do what they can do to take that away from you, you should be able to see them as big a problem as I do. We have work to do. You have work to do. You have some imagining, some resting, some pleasuring to do. And get your mind out the gutter, because whatever it is that you was thinking, I mean, yes, but also do something else. I don't know. Y'all, I think that there are many things that we can do that are inside our control. And I know that we often feel out of control. Our sympathetic nervous systems are geared up, but it's time for us to regulate. Find your people, help yourself regulate. Find your rest, help yourself regulate. Imagine, help yourself regulate. Find that pleasure, help yourself regulate. And then do some stuff. Get to work. Pick a thing. Tell me one thing that you want to do or that you feel like you are equipped to do in the comment section. Let me know if you're going to use the app. And for my people who might be watching this, who did vote for this Cheeto, you need to do more work. So you don't do one thing, you do 3 things. Do them loudly. Get your family on board. For those of you who have family members who voted for this person, I recognize that excommunicating that family member seems like the way for you to get some joy and get some peace, but you are not owed joy. You are not owed comfort. That is a white supremacist construct. Who is going to get your family member to do better more than you? Who gets them to think about the consequences, the outcomes, their accountability for their actions, if not you? It's easy to go ahead and say, I wash my hands of them. It's harder for you to figure out how to have a relationship with them where you are also doing some teaching, some feeling, being in space with them, and hoping and guiding them toward better. And I recognize that some of y'all are also looking for some Black folk to just absolve you of your foolishness. Stop it. Get to work. No one's going to absolve you. No one's going to absolve you. You're asking people who have been hurt by your choices to do additional work. How you sound. No one's going to pat you on the head. No one's going to give you a cookie. So if those are the things that you require, you need to find your community of well-meaning white folk who have done maybe what you have done, who can offer you those cookies and those pats on the head. Stop looking for people who are not even in the same positions of power as you to absolve you. Your absolution does not come at our expense. You gotta figure you out, boo-boo. And for the main ones that I make these videos for, my Black folk, we're resting, but that doesn't mean we're doing nothing. Pick a thing, friend. Get to work. Y'all are the bee's knees. I'm tired. I'm going to go find some joy and figure out what I am going to do beyond this video. I am Dr. Donna. This is the Daily Donna, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.